So our next speaker is going to show you how to really tangibly do that by sharing her story. And she has recently had some incredible press. I talked about this morning. She's had incredible press, and she might even say, you know, no press is bad press. The way that you're able to kind of shift what people are saying, because just like Reese said, the bigger you grow, the more resilience you get to have, because the more visible you are, the more people want to be able to talk about you. And it's not always positive, it's not always negative either, but there is always a next level of growth, a next level of resilience. And that wound is perpetual. It just gets to go deeper and deeper. The more you grow, the deeper we can go into the cavern and find that treasure, root that treasure out, use that wisdom, that the gold that it is, and start to be in our purpose. So I want you to jump into the chat, and I want you to give a massive, massive hello to the incredible, beautiful, 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 beautiful Amy Crumpton, a local Leeds lass. It's so cool to be able to have somebody who is literally around the corner from me. Let me find you, Amy. Hold on and get you in. There she is. Amy, we are having very exciting technological stuff going on at the moment. So without further ado, say hello, and please tag your friends, get them to come in and see Amy. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Perfect.
Can I just say very quickly, is that celebration flowers beside you?
Yes, they're on the last legs, but I just can't bear to
let them go.
I'm pulling the dead ones out, pulling the dead ones out and leaving like the blooming ones left. So yeah.
What a perfect way to start. We take out the dead ones, darling, and we leave the blooming ones. Absolutely.
We do.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful to see you. And we've got some familiar faces by the looks of things, being like, hey up, Amy.
Hi everybody.
It's so nice.
I know Caroline's here, and me and Caroline are friends from way back who used to go and do photo shoots together. Yes, that's nice.
It's really cool. And I think, you know, I've been saying to everybody, tag your friends to get them in, because afternoon session, we're like, come on, don't lose your momentum. We've got a fantastic lady here. And I have been sharing your story a little bit throughout the day, because our audience is very much ready to hear where you are now. And it's not only beautiful, but it's actually, I don't want to kind of typecast it, but it is a little bit spiritual.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. So first of all, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and who you are today. We've been asking everyone, who is Amy today and what do you do?
So I'm Amy, I'm from Leeds, as we've already found out, and I am a business and mindset coach for really high vibe female coaches and service-based business women. And basically I help women to really have a lot more fun in their business and make a lot more money. And I'm so passionate about that, because I was this overworked, overwhelmed, underpaid social media manager when I first started my business, and it wasn't fun. I thought it was going to be fun. So this is why I'm so passionate now about helping women to figure out what's fun for them and be able to make a lot of money and be able to make a massive impact as well. I'm really passionate about that. I work with women who love to make a difference in this world. It's not about the money, it's about the impact that can have. And that is what I am so passionate about.
And that isn't that it. I mean, that's the alignment. It's like, you know, we've just had two guys, you know, very different energy to the ladies that have given us kind of, one was very fulfillment based and the other one was very, very money based. But both of them came at us with that story of, it's not about the money. You can get the money, but you want to be fulfilled and you want to be able to impact other people. So I'm so glad that, you know, you brought that up straight away, because I think there's a bit of a stigma around let's use that again, that spirituality word, because it means so many different things to different people. And money, you know, that element of you can't be doing good and make money at the same time. It's not real, is it? And actually, I think you'll find Amy will show you that it is real
Yeah.
and it does work.
It does work, it does. And it's really funny, isn't it, that people think they can only have one thing or the other, they can't have both. And it's like, who said that? Who said that you can't have both things?
You can have it all. You can have it all. Regan Hillier. So take us back to little Amy, where she was, who she beed, you know, what kind of environment did you grow up in, and what crafted you?
So I think growing up, I had a nice life. I had what I'd like to call a simple life. We didn't have anything massively fancy. We just always seemed to have enough just to get by. So I've always had this belief around just having enough, never more than enough. And also working hard as well, like working hard just to have enough. That was always my limiting belief around money and success. You have to work really, really, really hard, and then you'll just have enough. It's like all these other people who are, you know, they're rich or they've got a lot of money or they've whatever it is that they've got, that's okay for them because they're different to me. I was just like simple Amy from Morley in Leeds, you know, never really thought I'd be able to get anywhere major in life. I just thought I'd, you know, have a normal job, live a normal life, have normal things. And then it got to a point where I just realized one day, like, why the hell can't I have more than this? Like, there must be more, you know? And it all started with that famous book, The Secret. I read The Secret, and that just opened up my mind to, wow, actually, if I change the way that I think about things, maybe I can have more. So I actually started to take more action to live a better life. And then I lived the most amazing life from being like 25. I went to go live in Spain. I went to go live in Marbella with my best friend. I met all these amazing people from different countries, different nationalities. I saw how the other half were living, like the other people were living this luxurious life in Marbella. I was like, I can really do this. So I went off traveling, explored the world, just lived what felt like a rich life, like living experiences. And I felt so abundant, like having these experiences. And that just led me down this path to explore more opportunities. So when I went traveling to Peru, when I did the San Pedro healing ceremony, which is a plant medicine, and that was crazy. Like that changed everything for me. That just made me realize that I actually can do whatever the hell I want in life. There really are no limits. And it just opened up so many amazing opportunities. I'm so grateful for that experience. It was just fantastic. And if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's kind of like ayahuasca. A lot of people have heard of ayahuasca, which is plant healing medicine as well. It's a more milder version of that. It's more around love, energy, and opening up your heart chakra. Because I had a lot of healing to do, which I didn't really realize at the time. I knew that I had a lot of shit that happened when I was younger, but that really opened up, like, you know, forgiveness and moving on and letting go and just not letting things hold me back. So I'm sure you'll want to ask a lot of questions around that as well. But yeah, that was the one thing that just really opened everything for me. And that was like 4 years ago now.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, I already know. Jump in the chat. I already know. Is this you? You know, I am just a normal girl and I've got normal things and it's all okay. And if I work hard, I'll have something nice and I don't need loads and loads of things because I'm just kind of happy being the way I am. And yet feeling it, yes, beautiful. This is already me. And it's like, you know, we get to see ourselves in you. I'm the same. I had a pretty okay bringing up, you know, like there's no major hardship like the two guys we were just talking to, super hardship. And I think sometimes when you're in this position, there is a level of comfort that actually we have to create the adversity to push us through. And, you know, yes, The Secret is great and you kind of move into that magical realm after The Secret. I think all of us did that. You know, we're like, thing. And for a while, synchronicity is the most fabulous thing in the world and the people you meet. But then something occurs, doesn't it? It's like, but how do I then manifest the things I really want? It's great, like little things are coming in and the energy is great, but I really want to kind of, if I can make anything, if I can create anything, then okay, well, let me try and create something bigger. And so I really love that part of it, because I think that speaks to so many people in the audience that, you know, it's not just about, oh, I thought about a rainbow and a rainbow appeared. Or, you know, or that, I don't mean to dismiss that, but there is that kind of energy level. So how did, because obviously the San Pedro is very key here, but before that moment, what were the things that were sort of like in your way? What were the personal blockages, the wounds that, you know, you said, I needed a little bit of healing here, I didn't even know I needed it? What were those things that were coming up for you?
Yeah, so just to rewind a little bit, I was in a relationship when I was around 17 that was really not pleasant. I experienced a lot of not very nice things. And then that kind of put this huge block with myself, my self-confidence, my self-worth. And I held on to this for so many years before I even spoke to anybody about it. Now I'm a lot more open about what happened. I was in a very abusive relationship. It was just awful what happened. And then I had to deal with these wounds, like you keep talking about these wounds that we have. And it was all to do with my self-worth. I did not have much self-confidence, although I seemed from the outside to be so confident, so energetic, you know, I had lots of friends, but when it came to really serious matters, I would just be so uncomfortable. I didn't want to be the center of attention. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel worthy enough. And I've really had to work through all of those blocks. And I've done a lot of the inner work. I've dealt with that and I've moved on from it. And I think they were definitely the blocks holding me back. You know, I'd experienced something quite traumatic at such a young age, just coming into adulthood, which held me back for years and years and years. I just didn't feel good enough at all. And I think having to deal with that and process that and work through that, now I have such huge love for myself that I was able to fight those demons and, you know, push through the other side and show other women and other people that even if something not very nice has happened to you, it does not define your entire future, that you are the one in control of your life and you can bring it back and you can work through those demons and work through those traumas and heal those wounds, and you can live the life that you want to live. The only person standing in your way is you. And I think when I realized that, everything changed. I was like, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm not going to let this thing hold me back. I'm going to fight for this and fight for my life and, you know, come out the other side shining.
I love that. Fight for my life. I mean, it literally is like the nervous system is in fight or flight. That's or that freeze. And I think a lot of the time when we're in the trauma, we go into that freeze, but we don't know that. And really, to be honest, you know, online now you can find anything out. I mean, in the last year, for example, with COVID, I think we've all been in this kind of fight or flight energy. Some of us have really gone for it and kind of, you know, fought for the way that we've grown in different ways, and some of us have been in that fear zone. But I like the way that you've said that. I fought for my life, and it didn't look like you were fighting a lion in the jungle. You know, it's like this internal energy. So you got to the jungle, ironically. Tell us about what happened.
Yeah, so I knew it was really time to do something, because the trauma that I just explained to you, from being 17 until like even 4 years ago, it was something that was just going around and around and around in my mind all the time, like living that life again and again, like in dreams, in my thoughts. And I thought, I cannot carry on like this. Something has got to change. So we're in South America, and my partner actually suggested, like, why don't we look at doing some of the plant healing medicines? And I was like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. So researched it, spoke to some people who'd done it, went to a few different places, spoke to a few different organizations that did these ceremonies. And I was like, you know what, I think this is the thing. This is a thing that feels really good. It feels really aligned. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give it a go. And I actually did 2 ceremonies. The first one, obviously it takes a couple of times for this plant medicine to do its work, its magic. So the first one, I felt so shit at the end of it. I literally just burst into tears. I was like, it hasn't worked. And I just could not stop crying. But really, all that did was unblock all that trauma a little bit. So it was like that first step. And it could have been very easy for me to say, it didn't work, I'm quitting. No, but I thought, no, that's not the right attitude to have. So I booked in another ceremony, which was the complete opposite. It was so beautiful. I was in Cusco, I was in the Sacred Valley, and it was just glorious. And when I had this realization, I was looking into a fire, like a burning fire, and I saw a snake, and I am not joking. A snake came out of the fire. I was sat looking at the fire. I was like, what the hell is that? What does that mean? So there was a shaman walking past, and I said, can you please answer me this question? Like, what does it mean when you see a snake in the fire? And he said, the snake is the teacher. It's here to teach you something. Like, what do you need to learn? And I was like, ooh, great question. Like, there's so much I can learn from this. And I think that was the moment where I just decided that I had that choice, that I was the one choosing to hold on to this. You know, there's so many people that go through things all the time through life, and they have that choice to come out the other side. And I remember seeing that snake just burst, like erupt in the flames. And I just went to lay on the grass, looking up at the trees, and there were just hummingbirds and beautiful wildlife. And it was just this really lovely spiritual moment of, wow, like life is beautiful, like life is amazing. And I think that was the moment that was just, yeah.
So
amazing.
What did the snake represent to you? Because I'm into shamanism. That's my game. What was the meaning for you then around the snake?
I think for me, the lesson that I took from that was that was my choice to start again, and that to leave the old me behind, all those old thoughts, old beliefs, old stories that I told myself, and just to create this new path and this new direction. And it was not long after that I had the download to start my own business, because I'd been doing I'd done some freelancing. So when I arrived in South America, I didn't actually intend to work there. And I bumped into a woman who had a digital marketing agency. And she said, would you like to do some freelance work for me? So I was like, yeah, cool. Why not? That's amazing. Never even thought about how I could progress that or, continue with that until I think it was a couple of days after the ceremony. And I thought, why can't I make something of this? Like, why not me? I am good enough to make this work. And even if it doesn't work, does it really matter? Like, if I don't try, I'm never going to know. And I think that for me is what the snake represented, like fresh start, new beginnings, like let's create this new life.
Like the shedding of the old skin.
Yeah, like shed it. Yeah, that's it. I shed my old skin. That's exactly it.
Gorgeous. So I love the way you say, I bumped into someone, or did you synchronistically meet someone along the journey? And it's so cool. You had the skills, and this is what we're kind of talking about throughout these whole 3 days. You already had the skills. This was something that you were doing and passionate about anyway. And then in comes kind of like an awakening, a healing, that's got nothing to do with the skill, by the way. It's the emotions of the relationship. It's the emotions of the things that kind of were hurting on the inside. And I think a lot of us don't always put that together, that actually it's the emotion that prohibits us moving forward a lot of the time. And so you cleared that emotion, you then move into this opportunity, and you mentioned download. So give us what came through you.
The download was to start my own social media business, my own social media marketing business. Because before I went traveling, I worked in a PR and marketing agency, and I loved it. I loved the work that I was doing. I just didn't feel very valued working for somebody else. And again, this like, surely there must be more out there. Didn't really believe at that time that I could start my own business and that I could be a successful businesswoman. That wasn't even a thought in my mind. It was just, I wanted to go traveling. I wanted to experience more life. And then when I bumped into this lady and she gave me this opportunity, that's what sparked this, oh, why not? Like, I can make this work. So I was on the bus traveling to Arequipa in Peru, brainstorming. I had one of those little like journalist notebooks, those really tiny ones.
Yeah.
And I was like brainstorming all these ideas of what I could call my business. And I knew I wanted to be something quite spiritual or something that related to the journey that I'd just been on.
Yeah.
And I was looking out the window and there was literally like thousands and thousands and thousands of cacti. I was like, cactus, like something cactus. And then it came to me, social cactus came to me. And I was so desperate to get to this next town to check the Wi-Fi to see if there was a business called Social Cactus. I was like, oh my God, it's so good. Like I have to like claim everything right now. I got to the town and there was no Wi-Fi in the town. And I was about to go on a hike into a canyon for like 4 days. Yeah. Anyway, we found this one restaurant that had satellite internet and you could only use the internet if you bought a meal. So obviously bought a meal, like, come on, internet. Yeah. And there was no Social Cactus. I was like, yes, claimed it.
Amazing, amazing. I can just see that now. Anybody else, I want you to drop in the chat now, like have that moment where you're like, I need to check it now. And what occurs is you can't. It's almost like there's like that moment where the universe goes, chill, but you can't because it's yours. And that's so beautiful. I love that. I mean, I'm already getting pictures of the canyon. I kind of want to know all about that stuff as well, to be honest, because it sounds like such an amazing adventure. But I'm really curious. So you set up Social Cactus and you're still traveling. And, you know, like you said, I had no idea really. I wasn't going to be a businesswoman. I was just going to be like, you know, I'm just going to do my freelancing, but for myself, maybe. So what happened? How did it become, which, you know, not to do too many spoiler alerts, which I've kind of already done, but, you know, how did it become what it is today, which is, you know, this magnetic launchers? And really the word launch means so many different things in your story. You know, it's not just about launching, which you're now well known for, but you literally launched yourself, you know, from that moment to a completely different consciousness, a different availability. There was a new possibility for you in life now. So tell us about how that occurred.
100%. So set up Social Cactus on all socials. and then I had an accident on Death Road in Bolivia where I fell off a bike. And I really injured myself, like quite badly, and it meant that the trip got cut short and I went back to the UK. But actually what that meant was, I was fine, by the way, what that meant was I could really start working on my business. Whereas if we'd have continued traveling, I don't know what direction this would have gone. It would have worked out 100%, but like how quickly. So I came back to the UK, working on the business, looking for clients, as you do, and had no idea really what I was doing. I was just winging everything, like winging my prices, winging my packages. Like I literally had no idea. I knew how to do.
Can we just get that dropped in the chat? Who wings prices? Who wings what they're doing? Come on, don't hide in there. I know there's a lot of you that are not answering on the chat. I want to see it blow up. Who has winged it, if not winging it now, making it up as they go along? Be honest. Look at them laughing.
Yeah,
every day.
Yes, I was totally winging it. Had no business wing it. Have you seen the quote that says there's only one thing that you should wing in life, and that's your eyeliner?
Yes, love it.
Yeah. So anyway, there I am winging it, not knowing what to charge, because I had a lot of self-worth issues around pricing and money mindset, which is another journey that I've been on now. I'm an entrepreneur. It's something that I never really even considered, having to work on money mindset. And actually that's one of my favorite things, is working on money mindset and reaching those next levels and breaking through my own glass ceiling. Love it. But yeah, so basically it was quite challenging in the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing. I was working all the hours, charging next to nothing. When I worked out my hourly rate, it was like, I may as well have gone and got a job like in a cafe or something, you know, making teas and coffees, because I really wasn't charging my worth. And I realized quite quickly, I'm really good at what I do and I deserve to get paid more. So this is where the whole money mindset thing started to come into play, when I realized like, I deserve to get paid so much more than this. I just didn't know how to do that. And so then I, you know,
can we say that again? Can we say that again? You know, I deserve to be paid a whole lot more than this, but I just don't know how to do it. Please just put a hell yeah in the chat, because I know that we have all felt like that. Yeah,
100%. And what I did was I reached out for help. I got some support. I hired a coach. I couldn't afford it at the time. I literally pooped my pants when I had to pay that first invoice. But doing that, it really helped me to step into this next level. I massively shifted into this next level that I didn't even know existed, right? At the time, I think I was making around 2K to 3K maximum per month. And I was paying out £1,000. It's still really good. Yeah. Like, it's really good. But when I looked at the amount of hours that I was working, it just didn't align. The energy didn't align. I was like, I'm so exhausted. I'm working all the time. I'm literally glued to my phone and my laptop. I felt like a slave, you know, doing social media management, checking notifications here, replying to comments there, on call for clients all times of the day, because I worked with clients in different time zones. I knew that there must be an easier way. So yeah, 2 to 3K per month is still more than I was making working for somebody else, but
not fulfilled and exhausted.
Fulfilling. And I started my business to create more freedom and more flexibility, and I didn't have any of those things. So that's why I say it's not about the money. You could be making £10,000 per month, but if you're burnt out and unhappy, what's the point? You know, that's why it's all about having more fun within your business, so that you are making more money and you do feel excited about it and you are making that big impact. So yeah, hired a coach and just entered this brand new world of, wow, I knew there was more available, but holy shit, like I didn't realize there was this much available.
And what it takes to get there, Amy. You know, I think, you know, what we're seeing through these conversations is, yes, the abundance is there. Yes, it's available. But like you said, you took an opportunity first. You took a risk on yourself. You went in and were like, I can't afford this, but I know I can't afford to stay in this anymore. So something's got to give. And, you know, some of us, it is financial. Some of us, it's emotional. But no matter what we do, we have to invest in ourselves to go to the next level one way or another. And so you took that risk. You know, let's not miss that bit out. That was a tough place to go.
It was. It felt like such a huge risk at the time. Me and my partner had just bought a house, so we had a mortgage to think about. We were just heading on a 5-week trip to Australia. And at the time, I'd had this call with the coach, and it was a year-long commitment. It was $12,000. I never invested anything like that. But I also realized that I never went to university. There was never anything that I wanted to do, which meant that I needed to go to university. So I missed out on that part of my life. And I thought, you know what? This investment in myself, I'm choosing to do this now. I didn't go to university because it didn't feel like the right time. Now it feels like the right time to actually do something for me, invest in myself, get the skills, get the support. And that investment, oh my God, it was the best thing that I ever did. Even from a mindset perspective, you know, like making that investment in myself, it was like sending that message out to the universe. I'm serious about this. I'm ready for this. I am available for this. I'm here for this. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the result that I want. And you better believe I made that investment work for me. And within a year, I'd made 6 figures. So
yes, you did. Yes, you did. And, you know, I want everybody to see this. And it's great because the chat is like, you know, so inspired. Caroline's, I remember that. You know, Caroline, I remember that too. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Also, you know, you're worthy to invest in yourself. I think the key, you know, what you're saying is it is an investment. It's not a money goes to the door and we don't see it anymore. But also there's that other part, you know, when you invest in yourself, there is a fire lit under your ass.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Reese mentioned this, you know, this is your responsibility now. There's nobody going to pick you up if you do throw the money out the door. It's your time. You're responsible for your results. And I think when we invest, that kind of gives us the kick up the arse that we need to not let ourselves fall back on ourselves. Would you agree?
100%. I've been having this conversation with quite a few people recently, actually. And it's whenever I invest, I'm not investing with a mindset of, okay, I can't afford it right now, so I'm not going to invest. It's where do I want this investment to take me? What is the purpose behind this investment? What is the result that I'm looking to create? And I'm investing from that mindset of, I know that if I put in this much now, I'm going to get out that much at the end of it. When I do the work, when I take the action, when I show up, when I ask better questions, I'm going to
Yeah.
get a better result. And a lot of people, they're like, I can't afford to invest right now, so I'm not going to do it. And it's like, well, where's that going to get you? It's going to get you the exact same place you are right now. It's not going to move you forward, you know? So I think that the investment piece, like you said, it just lights that fire. It puts a rocket up your butt. And it just gets you there so much faster.
And I think, the thing that you invest in, you mentioned this is scary. I'm investing in someone else to open up a door for me. And you said, wow, I did not know this was available to me. And, it's like a private club, isn't it? When you invest in somebody that's been there before you, it's a private club. They bring you in, they say, look, this is what's available, but make no bones about it. This is what I've had to let go of. And this is what I've had to embrace. And sometimes that looks like letting go of friends, family, people around you that either literally physically letting them go or letting go their opinions and actually being resilient enough to hold that frame. Did any of that come into your journey as you were growing?
Oh, yeah. I've had to let go of so much stuff. Mainly a lot of beliefs. Like, I'm a completely different person now to that girl who invested, even though at the time I was still 30, I still saw myself as a little girl. I had so much growing to do and I've shifted so much. So I've let go of so many beliefs, opinions. And one thing that I'm still working on is this fear of judgment from other people. I'm doing something that so many other people, they're not aware of this other life that's available to them. So like I heard you mention about the Daily Mail article, and I haven't
Yeah.
even read those negative comments because there's so many people who they're just not aware, and I'm not angry with them for their comments. They just don't know. They're just not educated enough to know that there is another life available to them. So their instant reaction was, this is a lie. This isn't true, because they are not open enough to see what else is available to them. And I think that's what I've had to shift is people's judgment, people's opinions, people's ideas about me. And it's only in the last 2 years that I'm really starting to shift now as I am becoming more visible. I am putting myself out there a lot more, and it's scary as hell. Let me tell you, like a few years ago, I would not have said yes to this at all. I got to be like, oh no, it's too scary. I'm having to face my fears all the time, step out of my comfort zone all of the time. But you know what? This is where the biggest growth comes from. 100%.
Yes, it does. And I love that. I love it. And, drop in the chat if you love it too, because this is so beautiful. It's the same message. And again, I love it because this is what I wanted to demonstrate throughout these 3 days, that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. The message is the same. We all have things inside of us that we get to shift, but make no bones about it. As we grow, we do hit the next level of growth, and that does take it opens that wound again, that visibility. What will people say? Richard McCann talked about it this morning, being globally visible, and the thing that gets him still is people's comments. That judgment is just like, I'm still afraid of it, but I get to work through it. I have the tools now that can work through it. So I want to go further on in your story, but before we do, I'd love you to give us a tip. I'd love you to give us a tip on how, you mentioned they're not educated to the mindset to know what's available to them. So that's kind of one availability to you to look at, okay, their comments don't make any difference to me. But what can you offer the audience when they are feeling judged, rejected, abandoned, critiqued in a negative way, and they're afraid maybe of coming out, because I think a lot of us are afraid of speaking our truth and being open. What would you offer them as a tool that they can use?
Ooh, there's a few things. So the first is asking yourself, who needs to hear this story right now? So when I'm thinking about putting myself out there, however scary it might be, I think even if I can just support one person or help one person to make a positive change, will that be worth it for me? Will it be worth stepping out of my comfort zone to empower one other person to make a positive change in their life? And that helps me when I'm feeling like, oh my God, who's going to be listening? Who's going to be reading? Who's going to be judging? I'm like, okay, who am I going to impact today? Who am I going to empower today? And then when I am worrying about comments or judgment, I'm thinking, how can I see this differently? How can I see it from their perspective? Like, why will they have these judgments? Why will they have these opinions? And how can I see it from their point of view? Because it's never really about us. It's always about them and their perspective on things. So I always just like to think about who can I impact and how can I see things differently rather than worrying about the judgment, like seeing it from their point of view. Like, why would I think that they would be judging anyway?
So I love that. I love that. It's, these two energies, it's a perspective shift. And I think, we all get to see, I think we've all heard of, like, when there's a car crash, for example, and the police come to take down the details, and there's 10 witnesses and they all have a different story, but it's the same event. And similarly to you, I kind of use that in my mind when I'm thinking about, well, what are they seeing? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing about me and about the story? And what does that mean about them? But also, what can I learn from it? But that piece about impacting somebody with your story, that's the gold.
Yeah.
That is the gold.
Yeah.
And
then as well, when I was I didn't look at the negative comments on the Daily Mail. I was receiving so many positive, like, messages from people saying how inspiring my story was, and it was amazing to read. I was like, right, that's who I'm focusing on. And I had a conversation with my mum, and she said, do you think it's worth it for all these negative comments? And I said, Mum, I haven't even read the negative comments. I said, I am not interested in those negative comments. I'm more focused on these amazing women and guys as well who are taking time out of their day to message me to say how powerful that story was, how it's impacted them, how inspiring it was and motivating. That's my focus. So I'm always as well focusing on what it is that I want rather than focusing on the things that I don't want as well.
Yeah, I love that. And somebody's just put in there, Natalia, it's booking platinum, not gold. So bring us to where you are today, because essentially, not to kind of over grandiose it, but, the whole story was, and I know that, they like a strap line, but it works. I've gone from this 30 grand debt to the 50 grand a month. And, there's so many people out there. And you said, I was just a normal girl in a normal way, and I just wanted to have a nice, happy, comfortable life. There's so many of us out there that want to learn, how the heck do you do that? Is it sustainable? Is it real, Amy? What happened for you?
Yes, it's definitely real. And it's definitely taken a lot of work to get here. Yeah. But like I always say, everything I've done has been in alignment. So like I said, that first investment got me to 6 figures, but not without a lot of mindset work, doing the inner work, working through those blocks, taking the action, learning the strategies, trying things, learning, trying again. There was a lot of learning. I don't like to say failing because I always learn something. So what might be a failing to somebody else, it's not to me, because I'm like, right, that didn't work out. What can I learn from that? How can I do that differently next time? So there was definitely a lot of trial and error. And then when the Corona coaster hit, I did lose the majority of my business. I basically had to start again from scratch last March. And then at that point, I had 2 options. Let this thing deter me and like take me off track, or think to myself, no, I've got a choice here. I know what to do. I know the strategy. I know how to get my mindset back on track. let's go again. But this time, let's take everything that I've learned and do it better. So I was able to massively grow my business back to multiple six figures in the space of like less than 8 months, because I'd already been there, I'd already done that, I'd already experienced it once, knew what to do, and then I could come back bigger and stronger. And so just know that if anyone is going through a time right now where they have been impacted by what's going on, it doesn't have to stay that way. You can take your learnings from before and just make this bigger, better, and more beautiful.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And, you know, everyone here, if you were here for Richard's as well, I know we've got like a different audience with each person, but if you were here for Richard's, he mentioned something like this in such a masculine way, and as you're speaking it in such a feminine way. You know, it's like you can make this more beautiful, you can make this you know, you can make this the heroine's story, you know. And I love that it's not about the wound just gets healed with some San Pedro and before you know it I've set up Social Cactus and I'm away with myself, and you know, I've got loads of courage and I'm building a six-figure business. No, I fucking lost it. I lost it too. But I'll tell you what, the momentum, the wisdom that came from everything in there, you now get to apply that and double down on it. And look what's happened. It's kind of sprung up like this incredible, you know, growth, this magical, it's like this magical plant that just keeps growing. And now you're impacting other women and showing them how to do it too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beautiful thing. It's that this will keep growing. Like everything I'm learning and everything I'm implementing, I get to then pass on to my clients as well. And I've been doing quite a lot of reflecting around my own mindset and beliefs, because as I am reaching this new level in my business, I'm on track for a 7-figure year. I'm having to experience new things for the first time where old beliefs are starting to creep back in. Like, who am I to have a 7-figure business?
Yeah.
And you know, what makes me think that I can do this? And I'm having to really, you know, work through all of that old shit again. It's like you said, every time you reach that new level, the wounds start to reappear a little bit. And I had this realization the other day that, of course, I know it's not true. Of course, I know that all those shitty beliefs are not true. But at the same time, I think I'm experiencing these thoughts and feelings now so that I can really connect with my clients on that emotional level, on that really deep level, because I always say you have to have been there emotionally or spiritually to be able to really connect with your clients. So for me to just it be a breeze and get to 7 figures, I don't know, like it just doesn't feel in alignment that I've experienced these shifts and, you know, been there emotionally. So I think I've been challenged a little bit this past few weeks as I'm reaching this next level so that I can say to my clients, I've been there. I know how it feels. Like I'm on the same path as you. Like we're in this together. So yeah, I think that's one thing that came up for me this week with my mindset anyway.
I love that. And, you know, I can see this. And as an astrologer, I have definitely held back from sharing astrology today. But I can see, like, you know, kind of what's occurring in the way that the current kind of energy is shifting, particularly around those people that are like yourself, that are leveling up. Yes, there is a general story that as you level up, you also, I mean, they say it, more money, more problems, you know, it's, but the problems you want to have, they're not, you know, Reese mentioned, I've just got a 70 grand tax bill. Well, it's a problem I'm kind of grateful for because I used to sleep on a mattress. Whereas you're sharing, I could be in for 7 figures this year. And I'm like, wow, I'm a girl from Morley who didn't know this was even possible. And the fact that I'm being in the possibility gives that hope and possibility to so many other people too. And to hear on the inside that it's not easy, to hear on the inside that, you know, there are times when you have a bit of a cry or you have a bit of a meltdown or you've got to face the same kind of playground feelings again that come up, is humaning, you know, it's humbling, it's beautiful, and I think it gives hope. So I'd love to hear in the chat, you know, what's landing for you with Amy. Please share with her and share with me, you know, what is landing here. And And what can you see that is possible? You know, what can you see that is possible for you and for other people that you know that are in this same sort of energy? And so I want to invite you, Amy, to share with us what you're doing at the moment, because you are right in the middle of a launch, which potentially could be the one that kind of takes you into that area of growth. And yeah, share with us what you're doing.
Yeah. So also, you said about more money, more problems. There's also that saying around new level, new devil as well. And every time you get a new level, you got the little devil being like, oh, hello, new territory. So yeah, I'm definitely experiencing all of that right now as I'm going through this launch that I'm in. We're in the last few days. The cart closes tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And I'm actually helping women with launching their offers, launching their services, because this is the thing that helped me to massively propel my business last year. It was launching and understanding a way that worked for me. And you might hear from people that there's one way to launch, you have to post 8 times per day, or you have to go live, you know, a million times. Like, I will never tell someone that that's exactly what they have to do, because I truly believe that there's an aligned strategy for everybody. So although I teach people a step-by-step strategy, it's all about finding the one that feels aligned with you and how you want to do business in a way that's going to support the way that you want to live. So basically, I walk people through creating their offer. What is it that they want to launch? Making it magnetic. So I call it a magnetic offer. And then we look at really your messaging and how you're connecting with your dream clients. So it's kind of like you're in their head because you understand them better than they understand themselves. And then we look at creating an amazing free resource or some form of value. So you can be building up your audience and you can be delivering something for free. So people can kind of try before they buy a little bit. And they get an insight into what it's like to work with you and your energy and what you're all about and your vibe. And then we move into the selling phase where you actually sell your offer. You learn how to sell out your programs and your services. And then we pop Prosecco, which is my drink of choice.
And then we pop Prosecco. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know, it's wonderful to hear that, because you know, some of my audience will already know I teach a lot of kind of spirituality around. It's not your chart. You don't just get, you know, your chart and then that's your problems for life and that's who you are. There's always a depth to it, and the more consciousness you bring to it, or the more awareness you bring to it, you find in deeper levels. And part of what I teach is this purpose, power and prosperity. And I find that in everybody's chart, or, you know, even if it's not the chart, it's just in everybody. Reese mentioned it's in everybody, but he's not into astrology. You know, that there is this unique energy that is just yours, and you get to craft that into something that is of value to the world. You know, it's like your pop of Prosecco. It's like, this is my thing that I get to give. But what's beautiful is you get to give it to you first. Like you said, you know, you get to go through these emotions. You get to clear into your mindset. You get to allow yourself to receive the money, because a lot of us have this money mindset block that we don't even know we've got.
Yeah.
And then we get to actually take the action. And it's funny, because when we start to take the action, the clarity comes, because we soon find like the distance between where we want to be and where we really are. And in that space is the work. And you mentioned, you know, you got a mentor, you found help. It was like, I'm not going to do this on my own. And I think that is one of the keys that we get to really kind of bring home here as we're starting to close, that we've got these wounds. We can extract the wisdom, and we can then apply that wisdom to creating wealth, but we don't always do it alone. In fact, you know, we get to do it in community. We get to do it with a mentor. We get to do it with a coach, because like you said, you invested, somebody opened the door, gave you the possibility, and also gave you the strategy so that you could open the door for other people too. And I really love that. And thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What would you like to leave us with? What would you like to to inspire others, what would your quote to live by be?
Ooh, a quote to live by. I mean, I've got way too many quotes to even share right now, but I think the message that I would like to get out there is that anything is possible for you. Okay, anything is possible, even if things feel challenging right now or feel a struggle. It is not forever. It is just a temporary feeling. And chances are everything that you want is on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that struggle. And just ask for help, get the support. You do not have to do this alone. And I'm so grateful, you know, for connecting with people like you, introduce me to people like your amazing audience, because we are all in this together. We're all here to create that bigger impact. We are all here to do amazing things on this planet and live the best life that we possibly can. And most of the time, it's just ourselves getting in our own way. But when you've got somebody else, like a mentor, or a coach, or a guide, they can really help you to break through those barriers and break through those blocks and just, you know, live the most beautiful, beautiful life.
Yeah. And we've got Robin going, how can we contact Amy? Well, you can find Amy on every social media outlet going. But right now, she has got this amazing magnetic launches happening. And I know we've got something on our dashboard for you, but how, Robin's like, I need help launching. There you go. So how can they get a hold of you? And I know that you've got this going until 8 p.m. tomorrow night.
But, yes. The best place to find me is Instagram. So I'm at Social Cactus Coaching. You can find, at Social Cactus Coaching. I was originally at Social Cactus, but Instagram deleted my account by mistake, so I had to start again. So now at Social Cactus Coaching. Come and say hi in DMs. Let me know this is where you found me. I'm obsessed. Instagram, I'm there all the time. I'm always in DMs. Voice notes are my jam. Feel free to send me a voice message. And if you want any more information about magnetic launches, then just let me know. I'd be happy to have a chat with you about it.
So brilliant. So brilliant. Let us know then what is landing for you. I know we've probably gone over. I'm not sure if you've got time for like another minute or so.
I'm happy to say I'm free the rest of the afternoon.
Drop in the chat what has landed for you with Amy. What has landed? You know, what is your take home moment with this beautiful woman? Amy has provided an awesome free gift for you. There you go. Yay. Social Cactus, download. Love your geniuses and how real you are. There we go.
Oh, I saw there was a question actually that came in earlier about investing, and did my partner have any resistance around it? I saw that question and I was going to share the answer to that before I saw the question. I didn't. So basically, when it came to investing that 12 grand, I thought my partner would say, absolutely not. It's a scam. Don't do it. And I just went to him and said, look, there's this thing I really want to do. I feel really passionate about it. And, you know, what does he think? And he said, well, if I believe in it, then go for it. He said, but Amy, this has to work. Failing is not an option. And I was like, well, obviously, I'm not going to do it if I think that failing is an option. But I had that voice in my head throughout the entire year commitment, like, failing is not an option. This has to work. This has to work. This has to work. This has to work. And it worked. So yeah, I think as long as you know, if you do have a partner, just explain why it's important to you. If you want to invest in something, just talk from the heart. Why do you want to do this? What will it mean to you? What will it mean to them? What will it mean to your life? And just have a real honest, open conversation.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's really beautiful that you noticed that, and to answer that. I think that's something that does come up a lot, and you'll find it with your, you know, your calls that you'll be doing at the moment, your discovery calls, that, you know, these, none of us are without our objections. You know, we find our limits to say, yes, I want to do this, but we always find a way not to do it. And money always seems to be the top priority. You know, it's like, I can't possibly do that, and it's because of this, 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 and this. And actually what you're proving to us, and, you know, and I've experienced this too, so I fully wholeheartedly support it. When you invest, you are not just throwing money down the drain. You're investing on yourself. You're betting on yourself. And if you can bet on yourself, how can you bet on anything else in the world? It is like, it's you, your personal story, your amazing you know, energy. And if you get to have that conversation with those other people and show them your passion, they're going to say yes to you just the way that you want to say yes to you. So I love that. And I think you might have a few inquiries from this conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Really, really love that you've taken time out of your launch to come and join us. People, take a picture of Amy, stick it on your socials, tag her in there at social cactus coach. And yeah, and I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled that you've got here, and I'll be catching up with you after your launch. Find out how it's going. I'm sure we'll all know anyway, because being the social queen that you are, we will all be following you and finding out now.
I'll be sharing that for sure. And thank you so much for inviting me on here. It's been amazing. Like, you've just done such a fantastic job putting all this together. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. And I hope the rest of the few days go amazing. You've got my partner, Chris. He's coming on here as well.
I'm so excited. Yeah, so that partner that you were talking about, you will meet Chris on Wednesday. Chris is a great guy too. And, you know, thank you for that, because I want to just share with everybody, this event was kind of put together a little bit last minute-y, a little bit like, you know, we're just going to do this. And I really applaud you and everybody else that's kind of come on board and gone, yes, 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 yes. It just shows your generosity, and, you know, that's an accolade as well. So thank you so much. And yeah, I'll be tagging you on socials too.
Thank you. And thank you everybody so much.
Can we all thank Amy? Give us some big claps and thank Amy. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Have an amazing day, darling, and speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.